and gentlemen, welcome to a new video, and today we are going to do my predictions for semi-final 2 of 2020 contest. Fortunately, it would have been tonight normally, but it's not going through, so you have to do it with me and my predictions. This semi-final, man, this is probably the toughest semi-final ever to predict the qualifiers from, ever. The first semi-final is full of heavy hitters, we know that. This semi-final, there are 3 heavy hitters, and the rest is all a bit more middling, I'd say, and it's tough to predict, really difficult. I've taken a long time to look at these, so yeah, I hope I made a good selection for you guys. If you haven't seen episode 1 yet for semi-final 1, please check it out. There are some cool predictions in that too, that I feel quite strong about. This one's a lot less secure for me. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into this video. Let's go. In this second semi-final, there are 18 songs competing, meaning that we need to get rid of 8 songs. But let's first tell you guys what song is in which half of the semi-final. So the first half of the semi-final is Austria, Czech Republic, Estonia, Greece, Iceland, Moldova, Poland, San Marino, and Serbia. Alphabetical order. Second half is Albania, Armenia, Bulgaria, Denmark, Finland, Georgia, Latvia, Portugal, and Switzerland. Let's talk about who goes through. Like I already said, there are 3 songs that I am 100% certain on would go through. That are the 3 heavy hitters in the semi-final, but 100% through Iceland.
What do you think about things? Believe it, I will always be there. So
it was destined to win. It was one of those songs that would have had a good shot at winning finally. That would have been really cool. Yeah, nothing to add. It's just, it would have gotten a lot of points from the juries, a lot of points from Televo. It's fun, it's quirky, it's danceable, it's well produced. Iceland 100% through. Same with Bulgaria. Although I could see Bulgaria becoming a little less of a dead certain one, it's a bit in the danger of being a bit too boring maybe. I don't think it's boring at all. I still have it in 100% true, but it's the one I feel the least about from the 3. But the 100% is 100%, guys. Nice voice crack. The third one is Switzerland. What do I need to say? Best male vocal, possibly this year, maybe besides one more. Yeah, probably the best this year. It's outstanding. It's in French. It's the only French song in this, right? I think so. And that are like the only 3 that I can put money on to go through, and they would go through. Obviously, after that, we have 2 that I feel quite strong about would go through. And one of them is a bit more of a coin toss. The first one I want to talk about is Albania. I think it is mental that people have this not go through. When Festival i Kungus was happening, Shy did not stand out to me either as the determined winner from the get-go. But have you seen that girl perform the song live? Once I saw that for the first time, I knew that this was 100% gonna win. And I know that a lot of people are upset about the revamp now being in American or English, but I don't think it's an issue. You know, you gotta remember that all the people watching from home, the casuals, and even the juries will not have heard the Albanian version. And I think Arilena's been in America for so long that she has no difficulties delivering the song in English. She has amazing voice. Look at how they staged the show. It's mental to me that people have this not going through. This is a top 10 finish for me, 100%. And I feel like a lot of it is based on Albania being the first show and about a revamp. And it's really weird because I think the revamp is even better than what it was previously. Yes, you lose the Albanian edge, but I mean, you needed to trim off like 40 seconds anyway. This is the best they could have done, I think. And it's an amazing song that would 100% go through in my eyes, but a lot of people don't think it, so I can't put it in 100% category, okay? Yeah. The next one, I feel very strongly about this one. If Georgia take it seriously.
Why don't you want me to be just the way I am? I guess you don't love me.
That's my biggest concern. The song lyrics are a bit trolly, on a trolly side. I think they're genius. I think Tornika has an amazing voice. And the overall song, it's quirky, it's fun, it's memorable. It's in the second half of the semi-final, which always helps. I think Georgia would have gone through. And the only issue is if they didn't take it seriously, if they make it a joke, then it's out for me. And that is my concern. If they don't take it as a joke, and if they take it seriously, Georgia is 100% through for me, but because of that doubt, it's in the 80% category. We've established the first 5 that should go through to the final. It's smart to look at the ones that I think are out. Firstly, San Marino.
Break all the rules and make up some new that will destroy all of them too. 'Cause that's what we do, oh yeah. And life goes by too quickly now not to be freaking it up. Freaking it up, freak it.
I had a lot of luck last year qualifying and then being in the second half of the semi-final, nearly being a show closer. It really helps. Now they're in the first half. The song is probably better, but I don't think Senhit has as much charisma as Sarah has, because that guy oozes charisma. Senhit's good too, and seeing the stagings of their home concerts and all the live things she did, they'll probably put a lot of effort in it, but still think it would not have gone through. I mean, if you change the name of San Marino and gave Freaky to a different country, I think everybody would have had it in the out category 100%. And it's kind of, San Marino is always the wild card because it is San Marino, people will vote for it. It's kind of the novelty thing, right? But for me, it's not good enough to go through. San Marino, out. Next one is obvious to me, Moldova. Yeah, it's not good. The production is just a mess. They didn't take a proper direction, and they should have. I think the elements that they have in it are quite interesting, and if they stuck to one of them, it would have been a good entry and it could have gone through, but they didn't, and so I don't think it would go through. Although they are good at staging, we've seen that in the past, definitely are good at staging. So again, I cannot put 100% money on it that it's not going through. And I think that is the case in this semi-final. You cannot put money on any of them of going out 100%. Because, I mean, only one that I could really put money on not going through is Portugal.
Mas agora tenho medo de sentir. Pergunta ao tempo, ele sabe tudo sobre mim.
A lovely ballad, and I can totally see why it won. It was the only song that was in the Spotify list's viral list in Portugal on spot 4. That's insanely high for a national final song. I just think it is a bit too middling. It's a bit not outstanding enough. It's at a low pace ballad. It doesn't really have a moment. Vocally live, she wasn't the best either. I mean, you could work on that. It wasn't too far off, I think, but I still think this would have struggled against all of the other songs that are in this semi-final. But yeah, Portugal out for me, and that's the only one I could really put money on. Yeah, and I also added to the out category, and I know this will upset a lot of people, Serbia.
Hasta Vista, baby.
You know, in my contest, it would have been out without a shadow of doubt. I think it's the worst song of the year. But besides that, I think this is like Verona was in 2018. Was it 2018 or 17? Whatever. It's like Verona. It's a bit of a fan favorite, not favorite maybe, but fan love thing. But the song is outdated. The production isn't very good. It's very troubled, very cloudy, very bad. The live performance was horrendous. They danced. And they just didn't seem like they were at their home and they were doing their own thing. It was 3 solo performers just trying to steal the spotlight from one another, still kind of giving the edge to Sanja Fucic. It just didn't work for me, or I just don't think it works. And to add on it, we had Cornel Maas, our Dutch presenter, go on national television when Django was either announced or the song was came out. And he gave a few examples of songs that were competing. Iceland was one of them as well. But he explicitly said to Serbia, the terrible Serbia, because live it was really bad and he didn't think it was a good production either. And unfortunately, I must agree with him. And I think a lot of other countries would have the same. Although it will have its fanfare, it will not be enough to go to the final, in my opinion. So we established a baseline and I kind of worked from there. We had 5 songs indefinitely going through. I had Iceland, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Albania, Georgia. First thing to notice is that Iceland is the only one from the first half, and the next one I add is also from the second half. That is really important to keep in mind, because I added Latvia to the list. If I look at the songs that are in the second half of the semi-final, Albania, Armenia, Bulgaria, Denmark, Finland, Georgia, Latvia, Portugal and Switzerland. Albania is a ballad, Armenia is weird, but it's not really a banger. Bulgaria is kind of slow, Denmark is cheerful, but not really very out there. And Latvia is the one that really jumps out in this list. It's unique and maybe it would not have gotten that much votes from the juries, but I think the televote would have put this through. It's in the second half, it really stands out in that second half, and it's not the one that I feel very confident about, but it's the one out of the group that I'd left that I would say, okay, definitely should go into the qualifier region. And so Latvia is my 6th qualifier. That also means that now I have 5 qualifiers from the second half. And looking at previous contests, there will never be more than 5 from the first half going through, really. It's usually 6-4, 7-3 or 5-5. I don't think Finland would have made it. From the second half, because we already have 5 going through. And Finland doesn't really stand out among those songs that are in the second half of the semi-final. And that's its issue. It's not an issue that it's quite a good song. It's produced quite well. But I don't think it would have it would have stood out in the semi-final or in the second half of the semi-final that they're in. Really unfortunate, but Finland out. So with 5 out, 3 left to get rid of. And 4 spots left in the final. Now, I'm gonna do one that not a lot of people necessarily have in their list, but I think is probably quite certain actually, because we already established that we only have 1 going through from the first semi-final right now, which is Iceland. Estonia.
I never imagined the power, I never imagined the need, I never imagined what love is, now love is all I dream.
I know that Suviste is maybe, it wasn't a favorite maybe from a lot of fans in Estonian selection, Estilal. But a lot of people from Estonia got behind it. I think a lot of people, when seeing this for the first time, it will be memorable. It's got a very memorable hook to it. You know, it's imagine. Besides that, Uku is a very charismatic guy. I think a lot of people would remember his look, remember how the staging was. I don't know what they would do for the staging, but I can really imagine a lot of people remembering this song. And I also can really imagine Estonia being that song that a lot of jurors would give like 4 points to, right? It won't be in a lot of tops, but 5 to 4 points. And seeing there are 18 songs in this and also adding 3 from the pre-qualified songs, 21 juries, and getting rid of Estonia, 20 times 5 is 100. That's quite a lot, man. I think Estonia would have gone through. Yeah. Now I have 7 songs in the final already, 5 songs that I definitely think are out. That means we have 6 songs left and 3 spots left to go on either side. The first thing that springs to mind is second half of the semi-final. We only have Armenia and Denmark left.
I'm yours, only yours, and of course hurt me. Chains on you. I'ma put them boy chains on you. Chains on you. I'ma put them boy chains on you.
Armenia, to me, I think is that song that will get shed on by a lot of juries. I think it could do well with televote, but I think Armenia is that song that you always have them where they'll be like 15, 16 with juries, probably like 15, 14 maybe. But the televote puts it like 8th. So in the televote points, it would have gone through, but I don't think the jury would have put it through. So if you balance those out, it would not go through. So that's why I put Armenia out. And I do not think that this semi-final will have a 5-5 split. So I kind of put Denmark through.
My heart's beating me to death. I have got an arrow through my chest. I am so in love, I must confess. Say yes, say yes, say yes.
On that reasoning, I think thinking about theories about these semi-finals has helped me a lot in the past, determining who goes through and who doesn't. And Denmark, has kind of broad appeal anyway, and I think juries and televotes would definitely put points into it. Maybe not the most. It would not be top 5, I think, in the semi-final, but it would probably go through as like 8th, 9th. Yeah, definitely think so. 4 songs left, 2 spots left as well. And they're all in the first half. So we've left Austria, Czech Republic, Greece and Poland. You can make a case for all 4 of them, and I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on all of them. Poland. Is a good ballad, but it's on a middling tempo. Her voice is not necessarily outstanding enough. It doesn't have a massive power ballad moment. It's a bit on the blander side of ballads, and it's in the first half, and I don't think that would really help it much. And so I did put Poland out, but it hurts me a lot. It would probably be in my ideal Eurovision, but we have 3 songs left that are kind of in the same ballpark. Greece, Czech Republic and Austria. Now Greece. A lot of people have it in immediately, and I'm not so sure about that. I think Stefania is a great singer, but her vocal tone is very in the ballpark of Alicia's as well. It's a bit on the lower side of things, and I do know that she can sing very well, and I think towards the end of the song that would have been elevated a lot. But the song is still a little bit childish maybe, and I'm not sure if juries will give a lot of points to it for that. And if the televote would vote for it either, because I think the demoscopic of who vote is a bit older. Not fully sure on that, but that was kind of my thought process there. I think they could have done a good staging with this, because when you listen to the song, I could hear them having like 1 or 2 backing vocalists, maybe have one of them being the dancer and one of them really being the backing vocalist, but then you can have 5 people on stage. That is really good. You can really do a good staging with that. And that's why I put Greece over Austria.
You make me feel like I'm alive again, alive again. Only you can make me feel alive again.
Austria is the issue of it being quite a complex song. It's very well structured studio track-wise, but I think if you have to translate it to the stage, it would struggle a lot. You need some backing vocals for it, and if you have backing vocals, and I can at least hear 3, and I don't think those 3 should be the dancers, then you only have 2 people left going on the stage to do the staging. That's a massive issue, and they need to find a middling way in between that. And I think that is, you can never really get the most satisfying result, and so it will sound less good than the studio track is. Because the studio track I would put through, 100%. But thinking about it, like really thinking about what they need to do to make it look good, to make it sound good as well, I don't think Austria would have done it well enough to go through. And on the other hand, you have Czech Republic. Which is a massive wildcard on its own. We've seen how charismatic Cristo is, and I think his charisma could be the driving force of him going through to the final. It's a very unique song in this semi-final as well. I think the Czech Republic kind of figured out how to stage things and how to do well on Eurovision. Last year, not a lot of people predicted Lake Malawi to go through immediately either, but they did really well. And I think this one is in a bit more danger because there are a lot of people that are not into this song. But we've seen how well it did in its own national selection and how many countries responded well to it. Like it got like 10 points, 8 points, 12 points from all of the countries. And I definitely think that a lot of people would put votes and points into Czech Republic, and especially with Cristo. He's so charismatic. I cannot stress that enough. I think Czech Republic would go through, meaning Austria is the last one I'm eliminating from the semi-final. So that means our lineup is complete. We have 10 qualifiers. They are Czech Republic, Estonia, Greece, Iceland, Albania, Bulgaria, Denmark, Georgia, Latvia, and Switzerland. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if I'm wrong in the comments and why your opinion is better. Who would you have put through? And make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, make sure to share it with as many friends as possible, because I really want to get this channel going. That would be lovely, 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 lovely. I have a lot of ideas in my mind that I want to do later once I've grown a bit. Yeah, I think that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video. For now, goodbye.